Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my show Back in the Days. Tonight I'm having a very special man to an interview. His name is Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States of America. People claim that he was one of America's greatest presidents, and I'm going to figure out why. Before we start the interview, I'm going to tell you a little bit about him and his origin. He was born on February the 12th in Huntsville, Kentucky. That's here. He was the second child of Thomas and Nancy Hanks Lincoln. He grew up on western frontier in Kentucky and Indiana. He was largely self-educated. He became a lawyer in Illinois and a Whig Party leader. The Whig Party was a political party active in the middle of 19th century in the United States. He was also elected to the Illinois House of Representatives, in which he served for 8 years, because he had originally agreed not to run for a second term in Congress, and because his opposition to the Mexican-American War was unpopular among Illinois voters. Lincoln returned to Springfield and resumed his successful law practice. As we can see, he was a very independent man. Re-entering politics in 1854, he became a leader in building the new Republican Party, which had a statewide majority in Illinois. In 1858, while taking a part in a series of highly published debates with his opponent and rival, Democrat Stephen A. Douglas, Lincoln spoke out against the expansion of slavery, but lost the U.S. Senate race to Douglas. Lincoln's victory promoted 7 southern slave states from the Confederate States of America before he moved into the White House. No compromise or reconciliation was found regarding slavery and secession. What happened next in his career is something I'm about to find out. Stay tuned. Hello, Mr. Lincoln. I'm very pleased to meet you.
Hello, Isabell. Thank you for having me on your show.
So, Mr. Lincoln, a lot of people claim that you were one of America's greatest presidents. Can you tell me what were your greatest achievements?
Yes, first of all, I led the United States through its Civil War and perhaps through its greatest moral, constitutional, and political crisis. In doing so, I preserved the Union, abolished slavery, and strengthened the federal government, and modernized the economy. So I think I did great things as a president.
Yes, how did you manage to abolish slavery?
Well, I closely supervised the war, and as the war progressed, my complex moves towards ending slavery included the Emancipation Proclamation of 1863. I used the U.S. Army to protect escaped slaves, encouraged the border states to outlaw slavery, and pushed through Congress the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution, which permanently outlawed slavery.
And back to the Civil War. Can you tell me a bit about that?
Well, it was definitely the bloodiest war in all of American history. It went on from 1861 to 1865. The war had its origin in the factious issues of slavery, especially in the extension of slavery into the Western territories. It all started when 11 southern states, who called themselves the Confederate States of America, attacked a U.S. fortress, Fort Sumter. The states that remained loyal were called the Union or the North. Eventually, the Union won the war, but after 4 years of intense combat, 6,200,000 to 7,500,000 soldiers were dead. That's a higher number than the World War I and World War II combined. I know I was not alive when we fought in World War I and II, but I mean, you learn a few things up there.
So, Mr. Lincoln, you were married to Mary Todd.
Yes, that is correct.
Can you tell me a bit about your marriage?
Yes, well, our relationship was a bit complicated. We got engaged in 1840. We had met in Springfield a year before that. We had a wedding planned at January 1st, but then we broke off our engagement. We met again a few months later and decided to get married. And we were married on November 4th, 1842.
You had 4 kids with Mary. Can you tell me about them?
Yes, well, my oldest son, Robert Todd, he was born in 1843. Edward, or Eddie, was born in 1846, though sadly he did not have a long life since he died on February 1st, 1850. Willie was born on December 21st, 1850, and died only 12 years old from a fever. My youngest son, Thomas Tab, was born on April 4th, 1853, and died only 18 years old from a heart failure. Sadly, none of my children, except for Robert, lived to adulthood. Losing our children so young had a lot of effect on me and Mary. In fact, my oldest son Robert had to commit her temporarily to a mental health asylum.
I can see that you're a very strong man. Your life hasn't been easy.
No!
Thank you so much for taking your time to come down here and answer my questions. I really appreciate it.
Yes, well, no problem at all. I mean, there's not a lot to do up in heaven. Nei, ég var að horfa á skjáinn, sko. Viltu ég, hvað er þetta að gera?
Okay. Interview. His name is Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States of... Damn it! So, Mr. Lincoln, a lot of people claim that you... Okay. Fókus, 1, 2, 3. Ég er að láta betur en þú sko. What? Stay tuned!
Stay tuned.